The following program has been pre-recorded to air in this time slot. Any call-ins or contests could be time sensitive, so please listen closely. Once again, this program has been pre-recorded.
It's been said that happiness is like a kiss. You must share it to enjoy it. Welcome to Finding Your Happiness with your hosts, John Polish and Nickel Lohman. For the next 60 minutes, we'll be taking a look at happiness from a whole new perspective, both personally and professionally. The phone lines are open at 702-483-4444. That's 702-483-4444. Now, let's get happy and bring on the hosts. Here's John and Nickel.
Welcome to the Finding Your Happiness radio show. I'm John Polish with my co-host Nickel Lohman, and welcome to the Christmas edition.
Yay, Merry Christmas.
If you guys don't know Nickel yet, let me tell you a little bit about her. She is a social media guru. Her business is developing websites, managing databases, and keeping you in contact with pretty much everybody you meet by social media. Nickel's been running my social media for a while now, and it's pretty cool. Every once in a while, I'll look down on my Facebook page and I'll see, hey, that looks pretty cool. I wonder who posted that. And it turned out it was me. So thanks, Nickel, for all that.
You're welcome.
So tell us a little bit about your business to get us started here.
So I began my business as an opportunity for something new in my life. It was a matter of finding my next piece of happiness, and it just so happened that it happened through social media and connecting with other people. I very much enjoy people, and so the connections that I make are amazing.
And when we first met, I remember telling you that I thought your business was going to blow up in no time, and I think you just started. How are we doing so far?
It's blown up. The good thing about social media is it's going to be around for a long time. And the part about the business that really makes me happy and excited is the connections that we get to make with other people and through their databases, growing other people's businesses.
I look at like getting an oil change. I can figure out how to change the oil in my car, no problem, but I don't have the time or desire to do it myself. And that's why we need people like you to give our businesses oil changes, if you will.
Well, and that's the important part about it is you don't have time to do everything in your business. And so what my business gets to do for you is leverage that time so that you can do the important things and keep in contact with your clients at the same time.
And it's really cool. Now, if I meet somebody new, I can just add them to Facebook or tell Nickel that I met them, give them their contact information, and next thing you know, they're liking stuff that I have on Facebook, they're following my page, and some of them are even showing up to some of my seminars now.
So let's talk about that, John. You're an author, you're a coach, you're a motivational speaker.
I guess I am now, yeah. It all happened really quick, but sure.
So what part of being an author are you most excited about?
You know, I never intended to be an author. I had something that I developed many years ago, and I didn't think I'd do anything with it. And what I found is, in my own personal experience, I had experienced a lot of tragedy in a short amount of time, and it affected me. I'm not going to say that it didn't. I definitely gained 50 pounds and lost it 3 or 4 times. You know, I've ended up going through divorce. I had some difficulties. But in the end, I realized that, you know, all that stuff is just, they're circumstances. And I don't really have to let my circumstances control me or dictate my happiness anymore. And so after running into a couple people who were just really down and out, I was encouraged to sit down and write a book. And I thought to myself, well, I don't really read much. How am I going to write a book? And a week and a half later, first book was done.
So you came out with a systematic guide to finding your happiness. That was your first book.
It is. And right after that was done, it became apparent that the same 5 categories I looked at to determine what makes a healthier, happier person would be the same that make a healthier, happier business, which is the title of my second book that I've written this year.
A healthier, happier business.
That's right.
Awesome. And the 5 categories, we'll talk about that a little bit more throughout the show. Do you want to go into that now?
Real quick, they are people, responsibilities, activities, money, and environment. And we don't really define what any of those mean. It's kind of what comes to your mind at the time, which is why this seems to work. But I think that those categories encompass pretty much all of our expectations. And the whole concept behind finding your happiness is that it's not so much your circumstances that affect your happiness as much as it is your expectations and how far are we from what it is that we really want.
Awesome. And so you also do motivational speaking.
I have been. We've been doing some seminars and workshops based around the Finding Your Happiness stuff, which is great. Just finished the website, johnpolish.com, which you can find all the information on there. But it's fun, and this show is just another extension of that. We're going to just bring people on and find out what makes them happy and what their ideas of happiness are and see what they're doing in their businesses to bring happiness to employees and customers.
Great. And so we have seminars that we do, if you want to bring that into your business or into your personal life.
Yeah, and you can check all that stuff out online at johnpolish.com or findingyourhappiness.org. That's great. But we're really not here to talk to me because we have some exciting guests with us today. We have 3 really cool individuals that I can't wait to let them shed some happiness on the listeners.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and introduce Stacy Laren Lynch. She's a good friend of mine and a realtor in Las Vegas. She was established here at Keller Williams. She's 37 years old. She's 37 years young. She's a wife and mother of 3. Welcome, Stacy.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So, Stacy, tell us, you just volunteered to do the personal happiness graph, and you came out as pretty happy. Tell us about that.
I am pretty happy, and as I mentioned before, that always hasn't been the case. But I feel like I'm at a place now, personal, professional, that I'm happy.
That's awesome. Do you remember, was there a certain shift or something that happened that changed that for you?
There was a series of shifts in my life, and I like to call them growth spurts. And after my first marriage, it seemed like my whole world blew up. And so I had to start from scratch again. And so thus began my personal growth and happiness journey. And since then, I still continue to grow every day, but I finally feel like I'm at a happy place, and it's so fulfilling and rewarding. And I wish that more people had that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I actually met Stacy, and immediately I said, she's a happy person. She's somebody I want to friend. And we've gotten along great ever since. Yes. And it's definitely about continuing that happiness journey.
Right.
And I'm just curious because it seems to me like was there an actual work that had to be done, or was it just a mindset shift? Or
I think all of the above. I was raised by a single mother. Her mentality is still to this day survivor. And so when I came into my own, I kind of had to separate myself from that because I had that mentality as well. So a lot of my experiences were that of, fighting life. And so, having children and knowing that I'm influencing them, when I got out of my first marriage, that was my first big shift. And then I knew that there was something that I had to do with myself because I didn't want to blame the other person. So not many people do that.
What did you do to shift?
The first shift started when I did a personal leadership course, which set me up for many breakthroughs. And so, in that course, I found out that I'm responsible for my own life. I'm responsible for my own happiness. I can't blame others for what I go through. So I had a choice at that point. And I decided to use that. And, if someone was going to make me happy, it was going to be me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Stacy volunteered to do the personal happiness graph before the show, and as I'm looking at your graph, one of the things I find very interesting, and for those of you listening, it's outlined in my book, and I don't really want to get into that right now, but the whole idea is that we can look at the difference between what you want out of life and what you have. What I found very interesting about your graph is that it's not perfect 10s all the way across.
No.
But what it is it's very parallel. For example, like the areas in your life that aren't completely happy, they're also the same areas that aren't quite as important to you.
Right.
So the areas that are important to you, you found a way to find happiness in those areas, haven't you?
Right. And I think that's for me, that was most important, is that my relationship with my kids, my husband, my now husband, my mother, my family, the people that I'm around every day, it's important to me for them to be happy because that's where I thrive. So professionally, I'm in real estate and I deal with a lot of people all the time. And if there's a negative energy in the office, I feel it. And if there's a positive, I feel it too, and that's where I thrive.
So let's talk about that for a second. I was in real estate for a few years as well. I like how we say in real estate.
In real estate.
We're totally in
We've all been there.
We're always in it because we're just working in it all the time. But how does that play into your whole happier persona? I mean, are you out there, do you think about, are you making these people happy, or is this what you want to do to be happy?
Absolutely. And initially I got into real estate because that provided me the ability to be able to have flexibility in my schedule such that I could pick up and drop off my kids from school. And then it became, because I was constantly growing, it became like, wow, I'm really impacting people's lives through home buying or through home selling, because that's one of the biggest purchases that we'll ever make.
Exactly. And one of the areas that we focus on through my seminars now is environment. Talk to me really quick about how easy or difficult it is to make changes to your environment to be a little happier. As a realtor, I'm sure you have some input there.
I've been in really bad environments as far as real estate goes, or even at home. And I realize that I have a say in that. And so if the energy is low, I control that. So I, do little things to bring it up.
And you've always been really good about making those shifts and helping other people make those shifts as well.
Thanks.
Thank you, Stacey, so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, guys.
We're going to continue our conversation here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to cut to a break.
Do you own or manage a business? When was the last time your business had a checkup? It's recommended that we get regular checkups to make sure that our bodies are healthy. Early diagnosis makes it possible to provide treatment before a disease has a chance to grow and spread. There is no better time to get a healthier, happier business checkup. We help organizations look at their operation from a whole new perspective. Our checkups help diagnose potential problems in your business before they have a chance to spread. And our prescriptions are easy to implement and cost-effective. Side effects may include increased customer satisfaction, employee retention, and productivity. You may experience an increase in profits and a happier work environment. Call now for a free initial consultation at 702-561-1088 or visit us online at healthierhappierbusiness.com. Once again, that's 702-561-1088.
Do you ever wonder what makes people happy? Does it feel like there is something missing? Do you find yourself asking, why me? Or when is it going to be my turn? At Finding Your Happiness Workshops, we help people look at life from a new perspective. We do not have to let our circumstances dictate our happiness any longer. Finding Your Happiness Workshops are fun, action-packed, and full of real-life practical strategies to help you start living a happier, more fulfilling life today.
For your next event, you could hire a celebrity or a cheesy entertainer. But why not hire someone who understands what it's like to face adversity and has a unique ability to move people into action? John Polish is an internationally recognized author, an award-winning humorous motivational speaker, and a successful football coach. So if you're looking for a healthier, happier organization, John Polish is the one you need to call to deliver the motivational pregame speech you need and direct you to implement your winning game plan. To book your next event, call 702-561-1088 or visit johnpolish.com.
When you started your business, did you realize that you not only had to be good at what you do, but you would have to become a social media guru, a website developer, and a master of database management? It takes a lot to run a successful business, and no one can do it alone. Fortunately, you have Nickel to help you leverage your social media, database, and website to grow your business. Keep in contact with everyone you meet and turn strangers into clients. Just chalk it up to Nickel at chalkitup.com.
Now, let's return to Finding Your Happiness. The phone lines are open at 702-483-4444. Now, here again, John and Nickel.
Welcome back to the Finding Your Happiness show. I'm John Polish with my co-host Nickel Lohman.
And we have our second guest today, Kristen Sunderhaft, and she's an author and LPGA golf professional. Welcome.
Well, thanks, guys. I'm pretty excited to be here.
So, Swinging for Success, Life Lessons That You've Learned, and Teaching Professionally at the Legacy Golf Course. And you're a co-founder and recently launched Las Vegas Women's Golf Schools. Tell us more about that.
That's right. Well, I've actually been an LPGA golf instructor, golf professional for, a little over 20 years now. And I've been in Vegas about 14 years. And took a little break, though, and moved to Maui. I was kind of ready to, after 6 years of Vegas, I kind of had enough and got super lucky and went on vacation over there and ended up getting a job offer on the spot. Moved to Maui for 3 years and then happened to move back to Vegas after that. And been teaching here mainly at the Legacy Golf Course. And I've also recently partnered up with 2 other LPGA teaching professionals in Las Vegas to teach women's only golf schools. And it's really more of a destination golf school place. And we're super excited about that.
That's awesome.
So let me tell you, you can find happiness anywhere. And tell you a little story about Kristen here. I was writing my second book, and I would go sit at a local coffee shop to write. And I'm just sitting there minding my business, and there is this lady sitting next to me, attractive lady sitting there writing away, and she's got her bag in front of her. And I notice it's an LPGA bag. And I did an internship with the LPGA when I was in college, so I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I looked, and there's a book sticking out of her bag, and a picture on the book kind of looked like the person sitting next to me. So I started talking to her. I'm like, well, I'm writing my second book, and I see you're an author too. And oh, I'm a football coach. Oh, she's a golf coach. She teaches golf. I need a golf teacher. And it turns out we're also both from Ohio. Huh?
That's right.
Go Buckeyes, huh?
That's amazing.
So Kristen has, instant friendship there, instant connection. And I think that having a golf pro in Las Vegas I think you specialize in women.
Not necessarily. Well, for obviously our women's only golf schools, yes. Okay. However, no, I teach. I have some kids that are like 4 years old that I'll work with, but I teach men. Absolutely, I'm like 50-50, men and women.
Okay, that's awesome. So here's the thing. I'm always looking for some ways to relax and enjoy myself. And there's 2 things that I found that people lie an awful lot about. And the most recent thing I found they lie about is I've started trying hot yoga. And people say yoga is relaxing. They lie. The other thing is golf. People tell me golf is relaxing. I play golf. It's not relaxing. Not when you hit a ball and it never quite comes down out of the tree. I don't find that relaxing. So, Kristen, how is golf relaxing?
So you need to come see me, John, obviously. But, yeah, in regards to my book, Swinging for Success, Life Lessons I've Learned on the Golf Course, a lot of the lessons that I've shared can be negative, but then we're learning something from that experience and try and turn it into more of a positive experience. So, like for yourself, hitting the ball all over the place. When you're playing golf in Hawaii, people can spray the ball everywhere, hitting it in the ocean. But hey, you know what? When you look out into the ocean and check out the whales jumping everywhere, it's all cool. It's all good.
I golf like Tiger Woods, or more like in the woods, but.
So don't get too caught up on where that ball's going. Just take it all in. Enjoy the flowers. Enjoy the beautiful mountain view that we have in skies.
So can you give me an example? You mentioned turning a bad situation into a positive. And I know that you're using golf as an example, but can you apply that to real life? Have you seen that play out?
This should generate a few laughs here, but I actually had a really bad golf cart accident when I lived in Maui. Yes, that's right.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. And no, it wasn't late in the evening after a few beverages. It was actually first thing in the morning. And when you're a golf pro in Maui, I taught at Kapalua, but you also work at one of the courses, and we would have to go out and check the flags on the greens because we had quite a few wild boars that would have a tendency to kind of wander around in the middle of the night and tear the greens up. So anyways, we checked the green, and it was super wet. Most people don't realize how much it rains up at Kapalua. So anyways, it was really wet, and the cart path was under construction. So I decided to take a little detour and went down this hill, grassy hill area, hit the brakes super fast, and I was thrown out head first, and the golf cart spun around, threw me out. And anyways, I wiped out pretty badly. Yeah. But to turn this into a positive experience, because I mean, no joke here, but I mean, I really thought I was going to die. But two things. Number one, the accident happened in probably the most beautiful area in Maui. If I truly was to go, I had the island of Lanai to my left and the island of Molokini to my right. So it was a spectacular day then, but the super positive is I ended up meeting my husband because he came to my rescue.
Nice. Wow. It's pretty cool.
So,
I had a horrible, debilitating accident, but it happened in the rain on Boulder Highway. Not quite as beautiful. So that's pretty cool.
So anyways, yes.
Do you have a big adventure coming up? Or has that been put on hold?
My husband thing? Or which?
Oh, no, that's a whole other story. We could do a whole separate show on that.
Yeah.
I was thinking you were going on vacation somewhere to teach golf.
Oh, well, I was supposed to go to China 2 weeks ago, and unfortunately, my business partner that lives in China became ill and had emergency surgery, so that trip has been postponed until possibly February. But you know what? Things are really moving pretty fast with our Las Vegas golf schools that we just launched last week, so I don't know what's going to happen with China, but it's pretty exciting to at least have been given the opportunity to go. So
it's pretty neat to be able to be a recognized golf pro in Las Vegas where you meet people from all over the world and
amazing.
Have all kinds of opportunities, don't you?
Amazing. Absolutely. Vegas is pretty awesome. I love it here.
Cool. Well, maybe someday I will make it out there and you can teach me how to relax on the golf course.
I can tell you the only 2 times I've ever been out on a course was at the driving range. The first time I was actually asked to put the clubs down. I was relaxed.
Because you were swinging them at your date, weren't you?
No, but he did tell me that I didn't have any business holding the clubs. So the second time I actually went out with a golf coach, and she actually showed me how to hold the club, how not to hit the ground, and actually how to hit and swing the ball. So I'm actually looking forward to some lessons with you as well.
That sounds great. And this past weekend I gave a lesson to a gentleman that was so incredibly nervous. He was shaking, and I'm like, "Are you scared of me, little old me, or this golf ball?" And he's actually an entertainer on the Strip, and he performs in front of thousands of people, and it's amazing what that little white golf ball can do to people. So fortunately, thank goodness it wasn't me that made him super scared. But
I can tell you all it did was make me laugh because sometimes it would move and sometimes it wouldn't.
Well, it's one of the things we do is we teach about personality types and how those things relate. And I can totally see being that what we call beaver or kind of OCD personality type, and knowing you're not going to hit the ball exactly perfect would make you like not want to hit it at all. Is that what you?
Absolutely. He's a perfectionist. You know, I tell some people right away, I mean, if you're a perfectionist, you may not like this game.
Yeah, and I'm more of the driven personality, and I'm super competitive, so I hate to lose at anything. And I go out to hit the ball, and you know, it'll roll 10 feet in front of me, and I have to remind myself, like, little old ladies play this game, and they do it better. They hit the ball harder than I do. It's frustrating, but I'm glad to see that you're enjoying it. You're making people happy, obviously. You're enjoying some great environments and some scenery, and we wish you nothing but success in the future here.
Well, thank you. Thank you. One big area of my life recently, I've become much more involved with church or more spiritual, but with my golf lessons, I feel as though my students are coming to me for a much bigger reason than just a golf lesson. And so there's a bigger connection there, and just creating relationships with that person. It's super cool to, a lot of my students become friends of mine, and to maintain those relationships are great.
Awesome. Well, I hope you stick around. We're going to have a little group discussion in just a few minutes here.
Great. We have Dale Krause, gapcomputertraining.com founder, and he recently began living a healthy bucket lifestyle and putting his IT knowledge onto a website for people to have instant access to it, and his bucket list. So here in a minute, we're going to interview him when we get back from a break. Be sure to check us out on findingyourhappiness.com and check us out on Facebook.
When you started your business, did you realize that you not only had to be good at what you do, but you would have to become a social media guru, a website developer, and a master of database management? It takes a lot to run a successful business, and no one can do it alone. Fortunately, you have Nickel to help you leverage your social media, database, and website to grow your business. Keep in contact with everyone you meet and turn strangers into clients. Just chalk it up to Nickel at chalkitup.com.
Do you own or manage a business? When was the last time your business had a checkup? It's recommended that we get regular checkups to make sure that our bodies are healthy. Early diagnosis makes it possible to provide treatment before a disease has a chance to grow and spread. There is no better time to get a healthier, happier business checkup. We help organizations look at their operation from a whole new perspective. Our checkups help diagnose potential problems in your business before they have a chance to spread. And our prescriptions are easy to implement and cost-effective. Side effects may include increased customer satisfaction, employee retention, and productivity. You may experience an increase in profits and a happier work environment. Call now for a free initial consultation at 702-561-1088 or visit us online at healthierhappierbusiness.com. Once again, that's 702-561-1088.
Do you ever wonder what makes people happy? Does it feel like there is something missing? Do you find yourself asking, why me? Or what is it going to be my turn? At Finding Your Happiness Workshops, we help people look at life from a new perspective. We do not have to let our circumstances dictate our happiness any longer. Finding Your Happiness Workshops are fun, action-packed, and full of real-life practical strategies to help you start living a happier, more fulfilling life today.
For your next event, you could hire a celebrity or a cheesy entertainer. But why not hire someone who understands what it's like to face adversity and has a unique ability to move people into action? John Polish is an internationally recognized author, an award-winning humorous motivational speaker, and a successful football coach. So if you're looking for a healthier, happier organization, John Polish is the one you need to call to deliver the motivational pregame speech you need and direct you to implement your winning game plan. To book your next event, call 702-561-1088 or visit johnpolish.com.
Finding Your Happiness continues. Join the conversation at 702-483-4444. Now, here again, John and Nickel.
Welcome back to the Finding Happiness Show with John Polish and Nickel Lohman. And we have the bucket list guru, my good friend Dale Krause. Welcome, Dale.
Hello.
Happy to the core. Tell us a little bit about that, Dale.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. Well, ever since I started my bucket list lifestyle, I've been having a blast all the time, every day. And it's amazing. You know, you just, keep saying yes to things like, oh, I haven't done that. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. The more things come up all the time. People are like, oh, I wonder who could help join me at this concert, free ticket. Oh, Dale.
So Dale, tell us, Dale's got an awesome story. Tell us how the whole bucket list came about.
Oh, okay. So everybody's been talking a little bit about tragedies. I got hit with like a kind of a bunch of whammies all at once, you know. Lost my house, but so did, you know, 78% of Las Vegas, so that's no big deal, right? And then I walked away from some business partners and started my own thing, and ended up getting divorced. And, you know, you keep shrinking the house, and then shrinking the apartment, and then you get hit with stage 3 colon cancer. That's a fun ride. And you know, you lose all your possessions and everything, down to renting a bedroom. And you know, it's when you lose things, you just it's that initial shock, and then you're like, well, I don't have to worry about a whole bunch of stuff. I don't have to dust and clean up a bunch of stuff. I don't have a bunch of stuff.
It does make it easier if you don't have stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, after my surgery, and I was in recovery, and there was a little mishap that happened, sent me to ICU for a couple days. And when I woke up, I was like, man, I got to start working on that bucket list, you know? I'm living on borrowed time. And so I said to myself, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do first, but I really got to work on that. I got to work on that bucket list. And the doctors and nurses were like, man, you know, when you start the chemo, you want to keep pushing through, you know, and doing your daily activities. Otherwise, when you finish, you're not going to have any energy reserves left. And so I was like, okay, well, dancing is on my bucket list, so I'll just learn how to dance. So the same weekend I started chemo, I started dance lessons, and I decided on my bucket list I was going to put, I'm going to laugh and dance my way through chemo and recovery and all that. And I did. And I learned a lot of lessons behind having a bucket list check. So by putting that on, man, I just got addicted to fun and happiness and laughter, and it helped keep like depression away. It was awesome. And as things started to wrap up, I was like, man, I really like accomplishing things and pushing through and checking things off. So thus my lifestyle was born.
Awesome. Tell us about the most adventurous bucket list thing you've done so far.
Oh my gosh. Out of all of them?
Well, dancing through chemo, that's pretty big.
Well, yeah, that's pretty big. We know,
especially for a non-dancer.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Any of the big ones that like we'd all be jealous of, you know, that you went out and did?
I'll tell you, I'm jealous of his Jeeping trips. I've seen those posted on Facebook, and my bucket list has a Jeep attached to it.
Yes. I've done the backside to Crown King, which is in Arizona. It's kind of between Phoenix and Flagstaff. And that was really cool. There's like this little rustic town at the top. So if you make it up the backside, which is pretty gnarly, there's a little brewery up there and a little candy shop, and that was so much fun. Just beautiful scenery. But what's amazing is when you're checking off a bucket list, like as we were on our way there, I'm like, this is going to be cool. There was a vehicle that was broken down on the side of the road, flat tire, and my brother was like, should we stop? I'm like, that's what we do. So we stop and find out that this little lady, she just lost her husband to cancer 2 months earlier. She had nobody to call. She's sitting there on the side of the road. I don't know how to change this tire. And we were there like, let's do it. And so we just did that and helped someone out along the way, doing our thing, having our fun. So it was cool.
And that's one of the awesome things that I noticed about Dale right away, is that not only are you a cancer survivor and you did the bucket list for yourself to help yourself get through it, but since then, he's just dedicated his life to helping other people. He's out there coaching people and speaking about what he's been through. And in the past year, how has your life changed?
Oh, my gosh. All right. So chemo was 7 months. All 2012, I was going through my cancer battle. 2013, I checked off 26 bucket list items, so I was pretty active. Now this is just recovering from cancer. Okay, I was working full time, sick, broke, single dad, three kids, 3 little ones I was raising, and still checked off 26 bucket list items. So it can be done.
So you really found some time to find your happiness during all of that.
Yeah. So, and just man, it's been wild. I mean, even the past 2 weeks with NFR in town,
Did you actually ride a bull in NFR? Are you going to tell us that next?
No, but I helped a friend of mine with her bucket list check on her birthday to ride the bull, and she did 68 seconds.
Wow.
68 seconds?
That's like 8.5 bull rides.
It is.
So, yeah. I helped encourage that.
Was the bull asleep,
it was liquid
or
courage.
Was it actually up and moving? Or?
But no, I was able to DJ on Fremont Street. I had no idea how to DJ, so I watched a YouTube video for 3 minutes, and I'm like, I got this.
Well, and one of the other things on his bucket list was to be a speaker. And Dale actually spoke at our last Finding Your Happiness seminar, and just he did an awesome job. And what'd you think? How'd that go for you?
It was really good. It was really good to help and inspire people. When you're at a seminar and you're just I'm telling my story, and it helps change people's lives. That is so rewarding. It's like giving hope to someone.
Right.
I was as I'm training and learning more about being the motivational speaker to many, because I've been a motivational speaker one-on-one to people for years. I was talking with Les Brown, and he said, he goes, there was more suicides last year than deaths in car accidents. He goes, sometimes a good story will save more lives than food delivery.
Right.
And I said, all right, I gotta get my stories out there.
Yeah. And I remember when you were talking to Les, we were at a workshop together that day, and Dale and I met through professional speakers networks and kind of going through this, I guess you would say, growing up together in the professional speaking world. And we do monthly 2-hour workshops at Finding Your Happiness. And recently we've been adding some other speakers to it. And I brought Dale in, first of all, because he has such an awesome story to tell. And he's inspirational, but very specifically because one of my categories is activities. And one of the things that I've noticed an awful lot is that in every one of my categories, I look at your happiness based on the difference between what you want out of life versus what you have, with one exception. And that exception is in the area of activities. What I've found too often are that people actually rate activities as very low in importance anymore. So it's almost like not only have we stopped being active, but we've kind of stopped caring about it. It's like we put it on the back burner and consider it that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And, we'll get around to that later. When I make enough money, when I finally retire, when the kids are grown, then I'm going to go out and do the things that I want to do. And Dale is living proof that if you just get off the couch and start doing those things right now, your happiness level will just rise instantly. Is that right, Dale?
That is correct, and one of the things I've noticed that makes me, or that has helped in my happiness too, is I cut out TV. I still listen to the radio quite a bit, but yeah, I have internet, and so if you don't have TV, you at least gotta usually get up out of the house to go get a Red Box. Maybe you bump into someone,
so you
start a
find
conversation.
some happiness on the way to the Red Box.
Right? You're like, oh, I'll just keep driving. Let's go see what's out there, And, being in Las Vegas, if you really can't find something to do, call me.
Believe me,
I'll let you know where I'm at.
It's funny that he says that because we have spent an awful lot of time together in the past year, but it's like almost all been speaker related and seminar related. I can't wait to go on some bucket list adventures with you. I'm just waiting for those calls.
I know. I'm so spontaneous. It's like, what's going on tonight? Oh, shoot. Someone just called. I just got a text. I'm out over here.
Okay, we'll move my number a little bit more up on the caller ID so we can get those calls and go out and start having some fun together.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Dale, for coming on the show. And we have some other great conversations coming up and a top 10 list. We want to thank you and make sure that you tune in to Finding Your Happiness on Wednesdays from 5 to 6 p.m. And check us out on Facebook and findingyourhappiness.org.
And all three of our guests will be back for a group discussion right after these messages.
Do you ever wonder what makes people happy? Does it feel like there is something missing? Do you find yourself asking, why me? Or when is it going to be my turn? At Finding Your Happiness Workshops, we help people look at life from a new perspective. We do not have to let our circumstances dictate our happiness any longer. Finding Your Happiness Workshops are fun, action-packed, and full of real-life practical strategies to help you start living a happier, more fulfilling life today.
For your next event, you could hire a celebrity or a cheesy entertainer. But why not hire someone who understands what it's like to face adversity and has a unique ability to move people into action? John Polish is an internationally recognized author, an award-winning humorous motivational speaker, and a successful football coach. So if you're looking for a healthier, happier organization, John Polish is the one you need to call to deliver the motivational pregame speech you need and direct you to implement your winning game plan. To book your next event, call 702-561-1088 or visit johnpolish.com.
When you started your business, did you realize that you not only had to be good at what you do, but you would have to become a social media guru, a website developer, and a master of database management? It takes a lot to run a successful business, and no one can do it alone. Fortunately, you have Nickel to help you leverage your social media, database, and website to grow your business. Keep in contact with everyone you meet and turn strangers into clients. Just chalk it up to Nickel at chalkitup.com.
Do you own or manage a business? When was the last time your business had a checkup? It's recommended that we get regular checkups to make sure that our bodies are healthy. Early diagnosis makes it possible to provide treatment before a disease has a chance to grow and spread. There is no better time to get a healthier, happier business checkup. We help organizations look at their operation from a whole new perspective. Our checkups help diagnose potential problems in your business before they have a chance to spread. And our prescriptions are easy to implement and cost-effective. Side effects may include increased customer satisfaction, employee retention, and productivity. You may experience an increase in profits and a happier work environment. Call now for a free initial consultation at 702-561-1088 or visit us online at healthierhappierbusiness.com. Once again, that's 702-561-1088.
Finding Your Happiness continues. Join the conversation at 702-483-4444. Now, here again, John and Nickel.
Welcome back to the Finding Your Happiness Show. I'm John Polish with Nickel Lohman, and our guests, Stacy, Kristen, and Dale, are here with us. But before that, we're going to do our happiness inhibitors.
Ooh, happiness inhibitors.
This is the part of the show where we just talk about things that could possibly step in and ruin your happiness. And today's, since this is the Christmas edition, we're going to talk about things that might possibly ruin your Christmas.
So if you leave the white elephant party with an earwax vacuum and you already have one, that could ruin your Christmas.
Ew.
Hey, I know where you got that from.
Yeah.
How about if you find out that the cook for your Christmas dinner just turned vegan?
Ooh.
I need meat.
Right?
Yeah, red meat would be good.
You realize the first time that you don't have a chimney. Aww. You might need a new house.
Yeah.
How about when you accidentally give the sexy lingerie to your mother-in-law?
Oh, no.
And then she comes out modeling it.
No.
That's just scary. That could ruin everybody's Christmas. How about you go to see a live nativity scene and you realize when you get home you brought some of it home with you on the bottom of your shoe?
Ooh. Is that
Or-
from the reindeer?
Could be.
Or you're forced to wear that Christmas sweater that your grandma knitted you after she was diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Oh no, that's for ugly parties.
Yeah,
ugly sweater parties.
day. Yeah.
See, but how do you do that? You know?
They'll never know.
Okay, you fall asleep during your child's Christmas pageant. Actually, the part that your kid's actually singing, and maybe you're snoring even.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. That could ruin Christmas.
How about if your Christmas pictures are photobombed by an elf on the shelf?
Oh my god.
And you find out he's giving you rabbit ears behind you.
There you go.
How about if you get kicked out of the church choir because you thought the real words to Jingle Bells contained the phrase Batman smells?
Right?
Nice.
Yeah.
And the number one thing that could possibly ruin your Christmas is finding out that Santa Claus just denied your friend request on Facebook.
Oh. You know, I have a
That
solution
would be
for
bad.
that.
What's that?
I just need to manage Santa's Facebook.
Oh yes, good idea.
I'll friend you.
There you go. You can keep in contact with Santa 24/7, and maybe he'll show up at one of our seminars.
Oh.
That would be awesome.
We'll make sure he gets an invite.
So, guys, this has been awesome having you here. We're going to talk just a little bit about Christmas for a second, since this is a Christmas show. Tell us, what do you do around Christmas? Who do you spend your Christmas with? Who are you going to spend it with, Stacy?
My family here in Las Vegas. I have 2 aunts, my mother, and then my 3 children and my husband. And so we actually celebrate Christmas Eve because in my mom's country, she's from El Salvador, they celebrate Christmas Eve and the coming of Christ. So we actually celebrate the day before. And we exchange gifts at midnight. Not that that happens anymore because my bedtime's, 9:30.
Can't stay up till midnight anymore. I get it.
And we also like to celebrate, obviously Christmas Day. My kids, when they were smaller, they would wait for Santa or want to wait for Santa. So it was important to get them to bed early.
Awesome. So, actually, this will be aired on Christmas Eve. We're recording this ahead of time, so as you're doing that, you're going to sit with your family and listen to the show, right?
That would be awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I know I will be back in Ohio visiting my family, so we'll get to
Cool.
listen to this possibly for a minute or two before I reach over and shut it off, but it'll be fun.
I'm taking a road trip to Sacramento.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm super excited about Christmas because I am going to see my grandmother, who's 94 years old, and she lives in northern New York, and it'll probably only be 0 degrees there. But to be able to spend the holidays with her is very special. My grandfather passed away 3 years ago, the day after Christmas, so
wow.
I look forward to spending time with her. I'll be flying back to Ohio, though, and then driving about 8 hours with my parents. I'm a passenger. I'm not into driving in snow anymore. But I'll be riding in the car for 8 hours and spending about 3 days in northern New York, and it'll be a very quick week, but it's special.
Nice.
Have to be back here for New Year's Day for the big bowl game, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't have any plans as of yet. They haven't unfolded quite yet. So,
Can I say
think I'll be-
unwrapped, maybe?
Christmas
Unwrapped.
flash mob, maybe? I see
There
in your
we
future.
go.
You know?
Yeah, I'm sure something will come up. But
Is there anything on the bucket list?
You know, if it was
I'm
anybody
thinking-
else, Dale, I might feel sorry, but this guy will
No.
find a million things to do between now and
we're
Christmas.
like, okay, I have 10 things. Which one?
How about all of them?
Right?
Sometimes I try, but it's just like,
So let's talk to people a little bit about stress at Christmas. It seems like that's the time of year when people get stressed out more than anything, and our responsibilities change. All of a sudden, it's like we don't know what to do. We have to rush and get gifts and get here and there, and it just seems like stress levels just skyrocket. How do you guys deal with that?
I think for me, I've created a calm environment around Christmas because I don't like the rushes. So usually Christmas Day, a good movie, the kids enjoy their presents. But I know it can be stressful. I mean, traffic is crazy. Not a good thing sometimes.
okay, yeah, I'm just so active. You know, I can go when nobody else is around. You know, you can go to Walmart at 1 in the morning, and you're not going to have too much of a crowd.
Yeah. Well, I know for me, I spent one Christmas where the girl I was dating had parents that were divorced, grandparents. We actually went to 6 different places on Christmas. So
my God.
I know sometimes just trying to make everybody else happy, it just adds a whole bunch of stress to you. And, you know, you got to kind of find a way to, you want to obviously spend time with family and friends, but you got to find a way to keep a balance. So.
Well, you know, I decided to drive home for Christmas this year rather than fly. It's only an hour and a half flight to Sacramento, and you figure if you get there early enough to get your luggage checked in and then you get your luggage on the other side, you're there about 4 hours total. I figured for a 9-hour trip, I could really just relax, enjoy some music, some books on tape, grab my cell phone and just really call and contact those people that I haven't talked to in a while. So I'm looking forward to that. And we get to actually celebrate Christmas on Christmas night this year. And It's something where my 3 sisters and their families are going to be in town. My brother's not going to make it. And we'll all go to my mom's house. Unfortunately, my dad's not with us anymore, so he won't be there to cook breakfast. So we're going to actually make it an evening dinner. We're going to do fondue and fun. And we'll have nieces and nephews there opening gifts and having a good time. But that's what we've decided to do. And then we'll spend the night and everybody wake up the next morning together as if it was the day after Christmas. So that's a lot of fun.
Any interesting Christmas traditions out there that you guys do that might be a little bit different?
We don't really have any. If anything, maybe where my mom would get us some pajamas, and we all wear the same pajamas. That
I know that one.
I do that as well.
All right. Other than being Italian and having fish on Christmas Eve, I don't think we have anything that interesting. But environment, anything that you do special for your environment? Do you change it up a little bit? Obviously, Christmas decorations, but anything interesting or unique? Nicole, you saw quite an interesting Christmas display this week, didn't you?
I did. It was awesome. I actually have a blog coming out about it later this week. And it was where a gentleman set up his house, set it to lights and music, and choreographed the music through the radio station and to move with the lights. So that's pretty awesome. Wow. So stay tuned for that. I'll make sure that I send out a link for that as well, and so you can get that stop by his house.
I typically don't decorate for Christmas because I'm usually not here.
Traveling, yeah, why?
And I ended up taking a family to Bellagio last night to see the Christmas lights, and they had never seen the lights before and watched the water show, so that was special.
Cool. Well, guys, fun. Thanks a lot for coming in and celebrating this Christmas Eve with us. And before we go, I know we talked a lot about tragedy and stuff, and I just want to say that, you know, to experience that kind of pain just means that you had something in your life that was worth treasuring at one time, and that's not a reason to be completely down. And with that said, this is the first year that my family will celebrate without my grandfather. And my grandfather just passed away in September, and he was among other things, he was a country singer-songwriter.
Nice.
Wow. Or at least, you know, aspiring one. And his life's role...
he was one.
He was. One of his life's dreams was to have his songs on the radio, and we are going to close out the show today with one of my grandfather's own Christmas songs.
Awesome.
So what's Grandpa's name?
It's John Polish, also. So we're going to close up with his song, What Does Christmas Mean to Me? And I just want to thank you guys for being here, and tune in next week for our New Year's Eve special. And thank you guys. Happy holidays, and God bless you.
Thanks for having us.
Christmas. Merry Christmas.
What does Christmas mean to me? Knowing just how things could be. For this one day all wars will cease. Isn't it wonderful, worldwide peace? Instead of fighting, men will pray. Thank the Lord on his birthday. Knowing that we can be free. That's what Christmas means to me. What does Christmas mean to me? Personal joy for all to see. Families together for a mutual cause, waiting for good old Santa Claus. Watching little girls and boys, their eyes lit up with their new toys. Each one busy as a bee, that's what Christmas means to me. What does Christmas mean to me? Decorations on a tree, holly wreaths and mistletoe, Christmas carol and some snow, nutty fruitcake, eggnog too, feeling happy, feeling blue, being generous as can be, that's what Christmas means to me. Self-satisfaction, you'll agree, that's what Christmas means to me.